All right, so I'm over here now at my sister's house. This is her kitchen. This is Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone, and we are going to be cooking up our Thanksgiving meal. So our entire family is coming over tonight. My other two sisters and their husbands, and my mom and my husband and all of my kids are all gonna come, and we're gonna have a Thanksgiving meal together. So in this video, we are going to be cooking up, I'm doing a turkey, sweet potato casserole, and some pumpkin pies, all from scratch. And then Lisa's making the stuffing, sourdough, I'm sure. Sourdough stuffing, green bean casserole, and then some cranberry sauce. And so in this video, I'm gonna show you my 3 recipes, and then you can go over to Lisa's channel, Farmhouse on Boone. I'll link it down in the description box to see the other half of this video and see her recipes as well. Now I'll just show you some clips of us cooking in the kitchen and also getting the table ready for our family to be coming over tonight. All right, so the first thing I did when I got to my sister's house was got the turkey going. For my turkey, I just diced up some onions and some celery and a bunch of thyme and sage, and I stuffed all of that inside of the turkey cavity and also just around the turkey inside of the roaster. So I brought this roaster because I realized with Thanksgiving it's really hard to fit everything that you need to into the oven. So I have this roaster at my house, and I use this just so that I could plug it in and get it out of the way so then we didn't have to take up any space in the oven with the turkey. So I set my roaster on 350 and I just let it cook all day long. I got there around 12:30 and we ate dinner at 5:30, and the turkey was ready to go just in time. So after I got the turkey in the roaster, I wanted to start on my pumpkin pies. So I had a pie pumpkin that I had cooked up for the pumpkin puree in the pie. So to make this, I just cut it in half, scooped all the seeds out, and then I put it in a pot with some water and put it on the stove and just let it simmer until the pumpkin was soft. While the pumpkin was cooking, I went ahead and got my pumpkin pie crust made. Now I used the recipe off my sister's blog for this. We're using einkorn flour, some salt, some butter, and some ice water to make these crust. While the crust were chilling in the fridge, I got my pumpkin pie filling ready. So for this, we did some cream, I did some eggs, I did the pumpkin, some maple syrup, some cinnamon, a little bit of salt, and then I just blended this up until it was smooth. My niece loves to bake, and honestly, she's probably made way more pie crust in her little life than I have in my entire life. And so I brought her in to help me roll out and make these pie crusts. And then she wanted to get a little fancy with it, so she had these little cutouts that have pumpkins and leaf shapes on them. So she was showing me how to do that. So we had a lot of fun making these pies together. throughout the day when we had some space in the oven, I was baking up a bunch of sweet potatoes for my sweet potato casserole. Once the sweet potatoes were baked and slightly cooled, I peeled them and I put them into the food processor. I added in some more cream, some maple syrup, some seasonings, some eggs, and I blended this up, and that will be the center part, or like the filling of the sweet potato casserole. I greased my 9x13 pans and poured the sweet potatoes in the mixture all in there, and then I made a pecan topping. This recipe is also on my sister's blog. I'll link all the recipes below if you want to use these. For the pecan topping, it was just pecans, some melted butter, some maple syrup, some einkorn flour, and I just mixed it all up and put it on top of the sweet potatoes. And then I put these in the oven and I baked them for about 45 minutes. All right, so while we're sitting here, we thought it'd be fun to talk about some of our favorite Thanksgiving traditions or memories over the years. And now that we all are starting to have kids and all of my cousins are starting to have kids, Thanksgiving looks a lot different than it used to. When I was a kid, we would get together at my grandparents' house, and my dad is one of 14 kids, so it's a very large family. Lots of cousins running around, and I remember being there and like everybody coming, and we enjoyed this huge meal. It would be like roasters full of like mashed potatoes and like stuffing because there were so many people there. Yeah, it was so
all
fun.
All the grandkids, all the aunts and uncles.
And we'd all run around my grandparents' house, which now I'm wondering how my mom like was sane with that, because he lives right off of a busy road. Yeah. And I think about if I had to go there with my kids, I would be so stressed, but somehow, maybe she didn't show it to me. I always just remember that being so much fun.
Yep. And we were actually having a conversation the other day whenever we were driving in the car for like 3 hours, and so we had a lot of conversations. Yeah. But we were talking about how, we don't really do that Thanksgiving anymore. Now we just kind of, each of the individual families get together, and we realize that that's what happens when the kids of, the grandparent, they have their own grandkids, and soon they break off into their own. Like at some point, our parents became grandpa and grandma instead of our grandpa and grandma. Yes. Which is weird. I'm sure everybody when they're like 30-ish realizes that's what happens, but you don't really know that's what's happening until it just starts to happen.
So then we started thinking like, wait, when's that gonna happen to us? Like at some point, you're gonna be grandma and your kids are gonna go there.
Our kids not getting together on Thanksgiving because they're just cousins, They feel like they should be closer than that.
I know.
They're technically just cousins.
I know. It is. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But, I guess. And then after we went to one grandparent's house, we left that one to go to my mom's.
Yes, we did.
We always grandparents too. We did two in one. And I remember like trying to eat like enough at one to where I could still be hungry and eat at the next one.
Yeah, like okay, I really want seconds, but I also want to make sure that we're able to eat a full-blown feast at the other one, because there was a full-blown feast with everything at the other grandma's house, our mom's mom.
She did everything, and she cooked everything by herself. Remember, we'd get there and she'd have everything made.
Wow.
Yeah, she did. And she always made an extra pumpkin pie to send home with our cousin Eddie.
Oh, that's right.
He was always sitting in the back for him. He always got his extra pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. That's been a long time, because, Grandma, she passed away this year, but she would be 90. Yeah.
All right, so for setting the table, this is definitely more Lisa's specialty than mine, so I kind of let her decorate. She went back and forth a few times, switched out vases and flowers, but eventually we had a really pretty tablescape for our party. right, so once everybody showed up, I told my mom to check turkey and to carve it for me. I am not good at doing like carving any type of like chicken or turkey or anything, so I let my mom handle that. And then once we had everything all out on the table, we just let the kids come in and everyone just started making their plates, and then we just sat down and enjoyed a beautiful Thanksgiving meal together.